through these training camps, every training camp you go through, you get a little bit better. You get a little bit better. And this training camp has been a long training camp. It's been just a lot of grappling. It's a lot of grappling. That's all we've been doing. And it's, you know, when you're doing that 5-6 days a week, you're going to improve. And we've been in camp for a long time now. I think we did about 12-13 weeks of you know, focusing on Merab, focusing on getting better in that area. It's been a long camp, and I've definitely improved.
So they don't call Merab the machine for nothing, right? This dude's riding a 12-fight win streak. Specifically, what do you think you have to do to end that streak and get that strap back next week?
I got to win the first 3 rounds, and I got to win the last 2 rounds. I got to break the machine. I got to beat him. You know, I gotta win the positions, and I know I can beat Merab. He's open to be getting knocked out. You know, I'm very confident that I could put his lights out. I'm also confident I could beat him in a 5.
Some have suggested, Chael being one of them, others as well, that hey, if it doesn't work out, 145 is always an option. Has that been discussed at all?
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. There's still really big fights at bantamweight, and Sean's 5'11". He walks around at around 160 pounds. So if we took 6-7 months to put 3, 4, 5 pounds of muscle on him, he definitely could hang with a lot of the 145ers.
Would you like to see him at some point, win or lose, like at some point down the line? Would you like to see him at 45?
Yeah. I mean, down the line, I think there's a bunch of really big fights for him at 145 and these weight cuts.
Here we go. Mike Perry versus a gorilla. What happens?
I win. I'm smarter than a fucking gorilla, believe it or not. I get smarter with every hit. I'm gonna kill that fucking gorilla. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna weave a basket together, cover its eyes, and stab it in the fucking neck with a twig. You, how about that?
And I'm sure, you know, you weren't surprised there were some people locally who weren't happy about this. Anything to the point that it would deter you from doing it again?
Deter me? Now I feel like
challenge.
Now you challenged me. Now I was gonna leave it. Now, you're telling me, Ariel, there's people trying to stop me? Now I have to do it.
Okay.
Now I'm honor bound and forced to pursue it. There's obviously a few lefties out there just having a sulk, but there's always going to be lefties out there having a cry. But once everyone watches the full 45 minutes and just sees the respect by all the fighters that's shown to each other, you see that it's just a couple of guys put some gloves. Like, since when did putting gloves on in the backyard and having a punch up with your mates become illegal? That since when was that a crime? And it's being run by some of the most experienced combat sports people in the country. Thousands of fights, medically trained. You know, when did that become illegal? If that's illegal, then.
Mate, no one wants to see this fight. No one.
Yes.
no one was sitting at home thinking, I didn't know. You know what fight I want to run back? Volk and Yair. Okay? Not yet anyway, because Volk did some good, honest work in that first fight, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Yair had a lot to work on from that fight. I think a lot of it was mental. That's how I walked away from that fight. I thought that fight was very one-sided. Now, there was a storyline that whole fight week with him and Diego.
Yes.
Okay? I wanted that fight to happen. Tell me that fight couldn't have headlined UFC Mexico.
Can I get some backup over here?
I don't think they...
What's up, bro? Game on.
There's a shooter right there.
Anymore?
I think this guy's still... I think he's gonna break.
BB Jet.
He's sweating.
Get up on him, bro. Get up on him.
it.